Look around, so few left. With money comes so much stress. With blessings come the next test. Are you different or just like the rest? Look around, so few left. With money comes so much stress. With blessings come the next test. Are you different or just like the rest? With blessings come the next test. Are you different or just like the rest? Squandering resources for attention with no mission, aiming for no target and still missing. Pay attention and learn from the past. Save and allow the blessings to last.
September 14th, Tuesday, 7:11 in the morning. Just want to give you an update on everything that's going on and the reality of the situation. The film, a letter to my children, we're still going strong with that. We're going on our third week of filming, and I gotta say, I'm learning a lot about myself while filming this. I'm learning my leadership skills and my leadership style, more importantly. I'm learning that the best way for me to lead is to empower other people. And then come back to them and give them bits of information, give them my intention, what I want it to look like, and then to back up and let them build and collaborate, to empower people to self-govern. And people are responding really well to it. You know, even in my classroom where I am now, that's my style. Tell them what I need to tell them, give them the direction I need to give them, and then sit back and master myself and let them come to me and interject when necessary, not to be too overwhelming or not to micromanage, because then people start to resent you. Even if the information you give is incredible, it's to give people a chance to breathe and implement the things that you want them to. I'm learning another thing, because my intent with the film is to market as many black businesses as possible. You know, it's easy to put, when it comes to hygiene products, for example, it's easy to put Equate. It's easy to put, Crest, the tooth brand. It's easy to put Irish Spring. It's easy to put those brands in there. My intent is to put something we own in there. And the feedback I've gotten it's been very interesting. I've gotten great feedback from people who are, thrilled and enthused, excited. And then I've gotten a lot of people who reluctant. Some people even wanted me to buy their merchandise to advertise it for them, and I found that to be delusional in my head. I found that to be delusional. And I'm learning that people don't want to be involved with you unless they see that you're a success. And when they see that you're a success, then they want to be a part. And I wonder what that stems from. Is that a self-esteem issue? Is that trust issues? What exactly does that come from? I want to do my own thing and not be involved. I wonder what that stems from. Because I could understand if it was a different intention. My intent is to market them for no cost. And maybe they don't want me to market them. Maybe they don't trust me or the brand or the movement. And I have to be okay with that and look internally and find out, if it makes me feel a certain way, why? Because my problems and my solutions are internal. And so it's not them that's the problem, it's me. The law office, the criminal law office, still going strong with that. The biggest thing I'm finding with that is to be present, to keep getting experience, and to keep having intentional conversations, to keep passing information and material out, and people come to you when they need it. It's not a very popular subject in our community. People don't, even if you're able to help, people don't want to talk about it until it's too late, if you understand. The Peace First Association, similar thing. Those two coincide extremely well. It's really the same thing. People could, and I'm speaking from interactions I've had, people will not have a GED. They'll work a dead-end job, at least in my opinion. And when you come to them saying with ideas for, a plan or an intention to do more, to invest in ourselves so we can raise our value first before we have our own businesses or trade or anything, because it starts with the GED, at least in my opinion. They are almost angry with you. For how dare you bring this up and how dare you want me to do better. I'm okay where I'm at and I'll do it on my own and I'm not worried about it right now. And in my head, I'm thinking, if we're being honest and intentional, you don't have a GED and you're working a fast food job that is honestly within a year or two, is going to have a robot doing your job. What's the plan? You're pushing 30, mid-30s. Let's be honest with that. What's the plan? Is it to work here to get the GED, to get a trade? And people don't want to talk about it. They don't. And I have to be okay with that. Even if I know that 1 + 1 = 2 and I see where it's going, using deductive reasoning and being reasonable with my thoughts, it doesn't matter. People have to want things for themselves. And so where I am now is I'm mastering myself. I'm not talking as much with people. I'm having a lot of intentional conversations where it's a purpose. When it comes to small talk and, how about that and it, I really don't talk. I will. I'm gifted at it. It's just I'm plugging in a different algorithm. And I'm learning I avoid a lot of nonsense in my life. I do not have drama. I miss out on a lot. Don't get me wrong, positive and negative. I'll live with missing out on that positive because I miss out on that negative. I don't have drama. I really don't have problems. The biggest thing that I'm focused on now is the brands, the film, the podcast, like we're talking now, and getting things done. The music is a lot easier and a lot more complex than I realized. If you want to do it, in my opinion, the right way and get your just due, get the money and legal protection, intellectual property protection that you deserve, you have to take your time. You have to do it right. And when I say do it right, I mean, for instance, getting, BMI. That's an agency that a PRO, performance royalties organization, where you send your music catalog to them, they'll register it, and at any time somebody plays it, it'll be linked to your BMI number, like your social security number for your music. And so you'll start to accrue finances and you'll start to accrue money for every time it's played, instead of just pushing it out on YouTube and just letting it sit. You're collecting money that you're not collecting. So it's just making sure that we go down the line and get everything that we deserve. With the film, I'm going to actually put in music. I'm making a soundtrack to the film. Here's the beautiful thing. This is my intention if I'm sharing it between us. I'm making a soundtrack for the film. I'm making a book for the soundtrack. So the book is going to have lyrics from the soundtrack. The soundtrack is going to be in the film, and then I'm going to take excerpts from the film and use it for music videos. So it's all going to be a correlation. I plan on dropping some apparel based on the film around the time we release it. I plan on going on a radio interview to talk about, something similar like that we're doing now. Going on the radio, could be 103.5 Power or Soul, 92.1, I believe what it is. And just having conversations about it and recording it and putting it on YouTube. So that'll be coming. That's my intent. Another intent is the board game Trap House. I've talked about that before. The vocational skills, reading comprehension, problem solving, conflict resolution is a big one. It's going to pretty much walk us through success and failure, and how we cope and deal with both, physically, mentally, emotionally. Right now, it's a time of learning. It's a time of learning. I'm getting the website done, where I'm going to have the apparel I'm selling. And the apparel has an intention. You'll see it. You'll see it. I'll put the link in the information section. I'm very intentional with the content I create, and I think you guys are starting to see, even from the colors, the dialogue, how I dress, how I live my life behind the scenes when only God is watching. That's the important thing for me. What am I doing when only God and my ancestors are watching me? It's easy, in my opinion, when the cameras are on, to present a certain way, to live a certain lifestyle, to talk a certain way. What are you doing when nobody's looking? When nobody's listening? Nobody physical, I mean. When only you know what you're doing. Like even right now, I got here in my building at 6 a.m. God and my ancestors are watching me right now. They're listening to our conversation. And that's how I like my conversations, when no one else is around except me and you. So now we know there's no social status, there's no embarrassment, there's no ill intention. It's just me, you, and God. And we having an honest, genuine conversation. I had an idea for a signature collection. I'm releasing some singles just to get practice on how it works from the mechanical royalties to lyrics. I want to get practice before I release the major project. So right now I'm releasing the singles. I'm releasing apparel that reflects the singles, presentation, and marketing of it. And right now it's a time of learning. It's really a time of learning. The book, the film, another book, They Mr. Lake's Got Some Rest. I'm collaborating with that one, so I won't give too much details. Just be looking for that one on the website. Excuse me. The website is www.omariaa.com. I'll put that in the information section as well. If I'm to be honest, I at least feel like I'm 2 weeks behind schedule with the website. I want it to be fully functioning and fully operable by now, and that's my plan. That's not God's plan, and I have to remember that, not to get down or discouraged or become reluctant or upset if things don't go the way I've written them down. The big picture is that they're happening in the first place, and for the things that don't happen, it wasn't meant to be. To always do my part, and to not make excuses or get too down or too upset. That's one thing I'm focusing on now, is being more, not moving too fast. No abrupt movements. No abrupt movements. Now, when it's an emergency, prepare for that emergency. So now all you're doing is executing. In my opinion, no abrupt movements, no abrupt spending outside of emergencies. All these are outside of emergencies. No abrupt talking, no reactionary talking, and really emotions. Control the emotions. Even if you feel a certain way, do not react abruptly to it. Because now, in my opinion, you're setting yourself up, and it's not worth it. And you might let something seep out that wasn't really meant for them or for anybody. It's something that might have happened earlier in today, and it just needed an outlet, and you gave it one by being abrupt. So not doing anything abrupt, nothing fast. Take my time with it, write it down, pros and cons of it, and even think through that as even in my classroom. Before I say something, I have to be very intentional, because I am the temperature in here. I am their environment. If I'm in a bad mood, negative, it's going to be stormy and uncomfortable and stressful for the students. If I'm in a happy, joyful mood, then it's going to be a breath of fresh air. So what I'm learning is to keep that middle ground. Be intentional and honest. Be intentional and honest, and be genuine with them, while at the same time being optimistic, or at the same time being hopeful and being uplifting. And so that's really, I'm being really intentional about having that core within me on a consistent basis when no one's around, to where it's instinctual, to where everywhere I walk, everywhere I talk, no matter whom I'm around, no matter what social economic status I'm in or those around me are in, it's still that same stable, consistent. So that's why I'm very careful of who I talk to and what I say, and being intentional with that. Someone even asked me, so what do you do? Where do you work? And I told them, I don't want to talk about it. I gave them a business card, and I told them to reach out if they had any more questions. Let them do their research. I don't want to talk about it. You look at it. You do your research, then come back to me if you have questions. I'm being intentional with that, even if it hurts other people's feelings. Because what I'm learning is that people are unbalanced. You could give them $100,000, and they'll be upset because you didn't give them $101,000. And that's the mindset we're in. People are unstable, and they're looking for things externally to please them internally, and that's backwards. That's really dangerous, in my opinion, because now that external thing controls your internal, and now you can be moved with it, similar to a magnet. When you move a magnet, two magnets near each other, that one gets pulled near the one, and that's, in my opinion, what they are. I'm like a fish in the water looking for something to bite on. Even if they know it's to their detriment, they'll still bite. I've talked to you about the nonprofit. I've talked to you about the law office. Those are the two. This is why I'm doing it all, for those two. Talk to you about the entertainment company when it comes to the film, the board game, the book, the apparel, the website, the music videos. We're talking about the podcast now. And season 2 is coming. I just want to be intentional with it. I want to finish the film. When the film is done, of course, I'll come on and we'll have conversations like these. I mean, the intentional conversations with guests. I want to halt and do one thing at a time and be patient. My family. I'm learning, between us, if I'm sharing this with you. We had our first soccer game. And it was amazing to see, because our children, whether we realize it or not, are a reflection of us. They take from us what is meant for them, and they run with it. And I saw my daughter she likes being around people. She likes being social. She's very driven, stubborn, and she's extremely hardworking, very uplifting. The coach wanted to rotate and put other kids in, so she put Ayan on the sideline, and every time she put on the sideline, she'd sit there for about 5 seconds and jump up and run back in the game. And this is one of those things that you see that it's no ill intent in it. She's not intentionally, I'm not following directions intentionally because I want to do this and this. She's moved by her spirit. And I like that. And there's nothing that's going to get in her way if she feels strongly about it. And so I have to look back at myself and to see where she got that from. That drive, that passion, that unwavering energy that can continue to strive and do better. And I'm proud of that. My son, he is the temperature in our house. When he is having a copacetic and positive and great day, the house is just so much more relaxed. When he is having a rough day, we feel it. The whole house feels it. Even if doors are closed and music is being played, we feel the energy in the room. We feel it. When he's happy and runs up to you, you feel it. And I have to ask where he gets that from. That energy, that power. And I have to look back at myself. And so I learned a lot about myself through my kids. And my youngest is, she's demanding. She's gonna speak on what she feels. She's not gonna back down from what she feels. And she's gonna continue until something changes. If she feels a certain way or she wants something, she's gonna take it from you. And you'll attempt to get it back. And unless you use a decent amount of force, you're not gonna get it from her. And she's gonna look you in your eyes while she takes it from you. And she's gonna eat it while looking you in your eyes. That's my gangster. The youngest one, that's extreme work ethic. Does not stop and has a great motor and continues to push no matter what. And I look at my kids And I'm forced to look at myself. These days, I'm really looking internally to find my answers and praying to find my answers. And most of the times I find that the answers are already here. I just overlooked it, or it wasn't as evident as I wanted it to be. And I'm blessed. I'm not better than anybody. I'm not worse than anybody. I just know I'm different. And I've realized my purpose. And now it's time to execute. What I've did for this one is I'm going to attach some poems from the book, from the Letter to My Children book. I would like for you to listen to it. Tell me what you think. And I'm going to talk to you all next time. I'll put the social media links in the information center or information section. I'll put the website link, as well as my contact information. If you guys have any questions, feedback, any constructive criticism, just make it harsh. I love harsh constructive criticism. I feel like the world is too sensitive, so people hold back. And then it dilutes the message. Don't dilute it. Give it to me raw. And I thank you for joining me on Specificity.
Truth. This one is called Haters. Weed them out. Wherever you go, whatever you do, they will be there. Lurking, watching, documenting, and observing. Weed them out. They come out when resources are in abundance. Where the cameras and attentions come, they will be there. They will smile at you, beg to shake your hand, but at the same time, mock you, gossip about you, wishing for your downfall. No, they will be there. In the morning, in the night, during dinner, during breakfast, in the winter, in the summer, they will be there. First to congratulate and last to collaborate. They will come as friends, family, and co-workers. Weed them out. Wherever you go and whatever you do, they will be there. Creeping, talking, deceiving, and recording. Weed them out. They come out when resources are in abundance. When the cameras and attentions come, they will be there. They will smile at you, beg to shake your hand, but at the same time, mock you and wish for your downfall. No, they will be there. In the afternoon, in the evening, during lunch, during snacks. In the fall, in the spring, they will be there. First to congratulate and last to collaborate. They will come as friends, family, and co-workers. Haters. The mirror. As I look in the mirror, who am I? What do I stand for? Others died for me to be here. What am I doing? Am I doing the just justice? Or am I wasting time and resources? As I look in the mirror, where will I be in 5 years? What am I doing now to get there? Am I utilizing time management and being efficient? Or am I wasting time and resources? As I look in the mirror, what is my history? Where do I come from? My loved ones, where am I leading them? To a progression or to a regression? Because there is no middle ground. As I look in the mirror, I realize that I'm dying. What am I leaving behind? How will I be remembered? By my community and by my family. What am I influencing, whether positive or negative? Because there is no middle ground. As I look in the mirror, I realize that I'm egotistical and prideful, while humble and down to earth. I am accountable and disciplined, while inconsistent and insecure. As I look in the mirror, I realize that I'm judgmental and lack confidence, while empathetic and unwavering. I am the sea to the mountain and the mountain to the sea. As I look in the mirror, I discover that I'm everything and meaningful, while nothing and meaningless. The mirror. I got one more for him. This one stands out though. This one's gonna be special. All of them are special. This gonna be a little different though. It resonates a little different. The port in a storm. The port in a storm. My, how it's needed. The port in a storm. I wonder if it ever feels conceited. Knowing its importance, I am sure it has an ego. Knowing its necessity, I'm sure it is prideful. Yet the port in a storm, you are so humble and so down to earth, never drawing too much attention unless necessary. The port in a storm, you are meaningless, but so consistent and reliable. You come through when people need you the most. Lives depend on you doing your job, and yet the port in a storm, thank you for what you do. But currently there is no storm, so we won't be needing you. Actually, port in a storm, you are not important unless there is mayhem. So one could say that you are only useful amidst destruction and dysfunction. So port in a storm, let me ask you, when there is peace and tranquility, what is your purpose? When the sun shines bright in the sky, and as the birds cheep their sweet songs, what is your use? I bet you have self-esteem issues and feel neglected because no one needs you. No one looks for your help, no one even notices you. I bet you look forward to tumultuous situations so you can feel important, and so you can feel significant and bigger because people will need you. So port in the storm, I ask you, how do you do it? How are you so peaceful in your isolation and in your undisturbed moments, yet so attentive and diligent when called upon? How do you rise to the occasion on a whim while staying so prepared? How do you remain confident and sure-footed even when all others waver? So port in the storm, I hate you. I despise what you stand for. Yet at the same time, I cherish you and thank you for your dependability. Port in the storm, I pray you never leave, while at the same time, I want nothing to do with you and want you to cease to exist. Promise you will never leave me, port in the storm. Get away from me, port in the storm, and never come back until I need you. But I will always need you, while never needing you. The port in the storm. That's it on that one. From the book, Truths. A letter to my children. What's today's date? September 4th, 2021, 2:12 on a Saturday.